So the wait is finally over as Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 Episode 1 has finally been released, and what an episode it was. But before diving into the episode, I want to go over some recent news that has been announced confirming that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 will be adapting the Hidden Inventory arc into 5 episodes, which will be released between the 6th of July to the 3rd of August. Then Season 2 will have a 3-week break where they will be airing recaps for Season 2 episodes 1 to 5 and Jujutsu Kaisen 0 the movie on August 10th, and then on the 17th of August they will be recapping Season 1 of the anime. Following this, they will be taking a break on the 24th of August before the Shibuya incident arc begins on the 31st of August. Now this isn't the best news, and it is telling of a troubled production schedule that is struggling to deliver on the massive workload that Studio Mappa has on their hands. Now we know that Season 2 will have a total of 23 episodes, with the Shibuya incident arc hopefully being adapted entirely from episodes 6 to 23. This new episode has blown me away, and it features some of Studio Mappa's best work. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the pacing of the story and how much material has been adapted from the manga, as well as analyzing the different aspects of the animation, explaining why Mappa is undertaking an immense amount of work for this adaptation, and why they may be struggling to maintain this quality for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 now that the episodes are beginning to release. So episode 1 of Season 2 adapts chapters 65 to 66 of the Hidden Inventory arc, and it is titled Hidden Inventory. This episode takes us 10 years into the past in 2006, revealing Suguru Geto and Satoru Gojo while they were just second years at Jujutsu High. Over the course of the episode, we learn that they have been assigned an important mission to escort Riko Amanai, the Star Plasma vessel, to Master Tengen. During the beginning of their mission, they are targeted by two groups who want to kill Riko in order to stop the Star Plasma vessel from merging with Master Tengen. The first is the Curse User Group Q, and the second is the Time Vessel Association, a religious group. Now you will notice that this episode does not adapt chapter 64, which covers some key character building moments for Yuji and the others, and this is because it is set in the present day and it would disrupt the flow of the Hidden Inventory arc flashback. I feel like chapter 64 will serve as a great way to reintroduce us to the present day following the Hidden Inventory arc, which will then continue on to adapt the highly anticipated anime version of the Shibuya incident arc, which has been dubbed as the greatest manga arc of Jujutsu Kaisen. The episode begins with a clip of Geto exercising a cursed spirit, transforming it into an orb which he swallows. During this scene, he comments on the endless cycle of exercise and consumption, speaking about how the taste of a curse is something that nobody knows of, and he describes it being similar to ingesting a used rag that is being used to wipe up vomit. This scene, which begins episode 1, is taken from chapter 76, which is a little later on, and it's following Geto and Gojo's mission to escort the Star Plasma vessel. I think that it's an excellent way to set up this short story arc, as it establishes the downfall of the young Geto, preparing us for the downfall of his character, hinting at later moments from the Hidden Inventory arc when Geto visits a village where he finds two young girls who have been beaten and caged. This is then followed by some teasers of the final moments of the Hidden Inventory arc when Gojo confronts Geto, and this is all before the episode truly begins. We see Meimei and Utahime investigate a cursed mansion, and they're being briefed about the details of the mission, and we see this really cool VHS effect where we see the mansion from the past, and this whole VHS aesthetic really does add to the atmosphere of the scene. It's just a really nice touch to the episode. As everything shifts to 4:3, you see the VHS scan lines, everything becomes blurred and pixelated, and personally I love stuff like this. So the first half of the episode consists of Meimei and Utahime investigating the cursed mansion, as they then end up getting trapped within a barrier that creates a never-ending hallway. The two of them do end up being assisted by Gojo and Geto later on. Now the events play out very similar to how they are told within the manga, but the anime adapts the manga pages with greater detail and better visual examples, which help to overall enhance the experience for the viewer. It really helps to establish the quality of the Jujutsu Kaisen anime as an adaptation that builds upon the source material. Now speaking of amazing quality, the opening for season 2 is revealed about halfway through the episode, and it's after Gojo introduces himself to Utahime. We know that the opening song for season 2 is by Tatsuya Kitani, who had in fact sang the first opening for the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc anime. Now the visuals and music for the opening here for season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen are absolutely incredible. It begins with a shot of Gojo from the present day before then cutting to the title card. We see shots from 2006 during Gojo's time as a student, where we see him with a young Geto and his classmate Shoko. Following this, we get a reveal of the Star Plasma vessel Riko Amanai during the opening, and this is before we cut to these amazing visuals of the 3 second-year Jujutsu High students highlighting the bond that they share, and it's reminiscent of Yuji, Megumi, Kitani and Nobara. Now during the opening, we actually get our first proper look at the legendary Toji Fushiguro, who fans have been wanting to see in anime form for years. Some of the visuals from this opening are absolutely breathtaking, and I love this shot of Geto and Gojo with their backs turned to each other, which hints that something causes them to go their separate ways during this arc. This is then followed by a really great shot of the three students walking before it transitions to Toji walking, and the animation combined with the amazing scenery is just mind-blowing. The song then kicks in as we see some stunningly fluid animation of Gojo and Geto battling the cursed user group Q. I just love the whole aesthetic for this opening, and it's all brightly lit and well animated in such a vividly eye-catching way, and it's really difficult to take your eyes off of the screen. And my god, I love this shot of Gojo with his eyes, it's absolutely wild. I just can't believe how incredible this opening looks. So after that brief action sequence in the opening, it's followed by some hilarious shots of Gojo, Geto and Shoko and the other students as they get up to shenanigans. The opening puts a great deal of emphasis on the bromance between Gojo and Geto, which is just really heartwarming but bittersweet to see at the same time. And all of these amazing visuals are accompanied by Kitani's amazing song, which really fills you with emotion. Okay, now this is probably my favorite shot from this opening, and it's Gojo and Geto riding on a cycle together. This is honestly some top tier level of fan service that's just to die for, and it's an incredible display of their bromance. The opening wraps up with visuals of Riko walking with Gojo and Geto during their mission to deliver her to Master Tengen, before we see a few more visuals of Geto and Gojo during their school years, which is just the perfect way to end such an amazing opening. If it wasn't obvious, I love the whole tone and aesthetic that season 2 has established thus far, from the excellent intro with Geto's character, to the first half of the episode with Meimei and Utahime, and now this mind-blowing opening, which proves that MAPPA are absolutely insane for being able to pull off this level of quality. The second half of the episode is quite heavy on the lore as it sets the stage for the story arc. We continue with Gojo teasing Utahime before Geto turns up, telling Gojo that it's not nice of him to pick on the weak. We are then introduced to Shoko, who already has a cigarette in her mouth and she looks just really cool here. We then see the three second-year students scolded by Yaga for not having properly set up a curtain in order to conceal what was going on inside the cursed mansion. Gojo of course is blamed for having failed to set up the curtain, and later he is seen asking Geto and Shoko if curtains are even necessary, saying that what does it matter if regular people see them, because it's not like they can see cursed spirits. Geto reminds him that preventing cursed spirits is the most important thing for the peace of mind of citizens. This discussion in the anime takes place while Geto and Gojo are playing basketball, but in the manga they were just sat in a classroom discussing the issue. The anime once again proves how it is building upon the source material. This conversation where Gojo speaks about how it's a pain to protect the weak, and Geto justifies it by saying that Jujutsu exists in order to protect non-Jujutsu users. This is before Gojo and Geto get into a fight over their conflicting beliefs as Yaga interrupts them, telling them about a mission that has come from Master Tengen, as they have been tasked to deliver the Star Plasma vessel and to destroy her. We learn that Master Tengen possesses the cursed technique of immortality, but it does not stop the aging process. Master Tengen doesn't have an issue with aging, but once he reaches a certain age, his immortality curse technique will try to change his body, and this is as a result of evolution. It will result in him being no longer a human and he will ascend to a higher state of being. If this is allowed to happen, then Master Tengen will no longer be himself, which means that the barriers that protect the Jujutsu world from non-Jujutsu users will no longer be strengthened by Master Tengen. Overall, without these barriers, it will make regular missions difficult to conduct, and the worst case scenario is that Master Tengen may even become an enemy to humanity. Once every 500 years, he needs to merge with a compatible Star Plasma vessel and to rewrite the evolutionary information within his body. By merging with a Star Plasma vessel, his body as well as his immortality technique will be reset, resulting in Master Tengen not evolving. Yaga reveals the location of the Star Plasma vessel Riko Amanai has been leaked, and there are two groups that are after her. First is the cursed user group Q, who want Master Tengen to evolve and lose control, and secondly is the religious Time Vessel Association, who worship Master Tengen as a deity and don't want him to be made impure by merging with Riko. Yaga in this stylish manner states that Gojo and Geto's duty is to escort the girl to Master Tengen within 2 days, where she will merge with him in order to maintain the balance of the world. Gojo and Geto only really have to worry about the cursed user group Q because they are the only ones who can use cursed energy, while the Time Vessel Association is made up of non-cursed users. We learn that Gojo is on the lookout while Geto goes inside to retrieve Riko, but outside her room he sees an explosive which detonates, sending Riko hurtling out of the window, and the cursed user group Q have officially launched their attack. Geto rescues Riko as he confronts the Q soldier Koken. Meanwhile, Gojo is confronted by the Q soldier Veiya. Now, with the stage set for the first proper battles of the arc, we then cut to a final scene involving Toji Fushiguro, who is seen speaking to Shui Kong, a representative from the Time Vessel Association. He has come to hire Toji as an assassin in order to eliminate the Star Plasma vessel. Season 2 episode 1 ends with Toji accepting the offer, leaving us on this very exciting cliffhanger, as Toji is revealed to be a member of the Zenin family who has taken up his wife's name Fushiguro, and he has now joined the race to capture the Star Plasma vessel. Now, the ending of season 2 features a very somber song, which is accompanied by another batch of amazing visuals, and it's a mixture of stuff featuring Geto, Gojo, Shoko, and Riko, followed by some amazing scenic shots of the characters hanging around having fun, and it perfectly captures the feeling of being young with all of the time in the world and no worries or concerns. I really love the whole aesthetic, which is why I want to spend some time now talking about the staff who are working on the amazing visuals from season 2, as well as the incredible animations that we've seen thus far. So what is clearly the most obvious new addition to this season of Jujutsu Kaisen will definitely have to be the animation. We have seen enough on the trailers to at least show that Jujutsu Kaisen has undergone a bit of a visual overhaul, a makeover that received a majorly positive fan reception, but it raises a number of questions on just how exactly this season was going. But from the trailers alone, a lot of fans were speculating on how exactly this season was going to look. Now, seeing everything in motion, it's definitely inspired my confidence in the production of this season, despite whatever struggles the production is believed to be going through behind the scenes. Right off the bat, the most notable aspect of this new vision for Jujutsu Kaisen is how the characters look. Under the direction of the brilliant Sung-Hoo Park, season 2 has opted for a grittier and even darker aesthetic, with relatively more detailed character designs and very strong drawings. But with season 2's directorial reins being handed to the young visionary Shota Goshozono, the show has undergone a massive aesthetic revamp that in all honesty might have been the best choice for Jujutsu Kaisen. I cannot stress how much this aesthetic has done for the show, and episode 1 inspires me to have so much confidence in director Goso's ability to deliver on this season. But why was episode 1 of season 2 so great, might you ask? Well, the new season of Jujutsu Kaisen has decided to start things off with the loudest of bangs, and it sticks the landing in its production quality in a way that very few anime can. Starting off with a new look that the characters have in the anime, with the character design sheets that had started to come out for season 2, a lot of fans had noticed how massively simplified these designs were in comparison to season 1's. Now, these designs made by the talented Tadashi Hiramatsu allow for a degree of flexibility in animating the characters that more complex designs just wouldn't have. It would be good to note that Tadashi Hiramatsu was the same character designer for earlier seasons and the movie of Jujutsu Kaisen, so the sudden change in aesthetic was definitely an intentional design by the animation staff. This change in character animation philosophy is undeniably evident right from the start of the episode. While the sequence involving Geto doesn't really show a lot of the new freedom in character animation, it does illustrate what I feel might be one of Jujutsu Kaisen's current greatest production strengths. The simplicity of its character designs not only make character animation very easy, but it allows for a level of art consistency that would be simply impossible in a show with significantly more complex character designs. From the sequence with Geto all the way to Utahime and Meime's investigation, the character animation is not incredibly expressive here, but the art and characters are constantly on model, and that further goes to strengthen the new aesthetic of the show in a way that's quite different from season 1. Another visible difference from season 1's animation will be the backgrounds in this episode. One of the shortcomings of season 1's aesthetic was that it had very weak backgrounds, so much so that even priority episodes sometimes had the characters fighting in some poorly made CG backgrounds that reduced the entire fight to a bunch of 2D characters jumping over a stretch of ugly brownness or some forest with poorly rendered trees. Now, while the animation was still good, it really took away from my enjoyment of season 1. But in this new season, there are background shots that look absolutely spectacular, with some extremely detailed backgrounds with vibrant colors which really make the expressive character art pop out. This episode also features the use of some genuinely impressive CGI to create some really engaging layouts, like we see during Utahime's investigation, where there's a really great first-person shot that creates a really immersive scene. Overall, the backgrounds have been upgraded to a point where almost every scene is a visual pleasure to experience, and there are very few anime shows that exist that can boast this as one of their aesthetic strengths. Another aspect of the production that has received a massive upgrade is easily the visuals of the show. The first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, while definitely a good show, was a bit lacking visually, especially in the compositing department. That however isn't a problem in season 2 because they've gone above and beyond with the aesthetic. They are using a very similar color palette to Chainsaw Man but with less desaturation, which creates an extremely cinematic look that still manages to look vibrant when it needs to. It's such a refreshing look for Jujutsu Kaisen that I can't help but praise the director of photography, Teppei Ito, for his phenomenal work. Jujutsu Kaisen's new visual identity is absolutely gorgeous, and I pray that they are able to maintain this quality for the length of the broadcast. Now let's talk about the animation of the episode. The animation in this episode is nothing short of stellar. Not even joking, but when I say that this is easily one of the most ambitious first episodes of the decade, it's as real as it gets. It started when I saw the list of key animators that were working on the episode, and I had to recheck the manga to make sure that it was adapting the same chapters from the manga. Somehow this episode had basically the animation Avengers working on it. The episode was storyboarded, directed, and had key animation from the director Gojo. The episode itself had phenomenal animators like Koki Fujimoto, Shinsaku Kojima, Takafumi Mitani, Hokuto Sakiyama, and Yosuke Yojima working on it. This is all on an episode with little to no action. Each of these names that I've mentioned are greatly accomplished animators who are world renowned for extremely fluid and dynamic animation. And the fact that all of these animators have gathered for the first episode of season 2 is the boldest statement that this production could have made. And the talent on display for season 2 episode 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen is just evident. Where things as simple as throwing a basketball have been turned into an absolute visual spectacle with extremely expressive character animation reminiscent of Chainsaw Man, Mappa is pulling all the stops for Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's an absolute joy to behold. There's also the fact that some of the biggest names confirmed to be working on season 2 are yet to even appear, yet we've had all of these superstars appear just for the first episode. I just think that it's totally insane. All of these incredible animators are guided by the visionary Gojo, who has some incredibly creative and expansive layouts for some certain scenes, some that have his trademark fisheye lens that he's become synonymous with. Along with this, his directorial influence is very evident in this episode. It's an absolute dream team that I can't wait to see work their magic with the rest of the episodes in this season. I hope that you've enjoyed my deep dive into the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. It is not an exaggeration when I say that it has been an incredible start to the highly anticipated new season. We have been introduced to the ideologies of Gojo and Geto while they were just students at Jujutsu High, along with this new story unfolding around Master Tengen and the Star Plasma Vessel. I love the aesthetic overhaul of the season, which sets it apart from season 1, and it reflects an intentional shift in the animation style, which overall elevates the series to another level. Studio Mappa has done phenomenal work with the detailed backgrounds, the vibrant color palette, and the amazing animation quality that we have seen from a very few of the action scenes in this episode. There is just a level of simplicity and flexibility to the character designs, which allows for some awesome animation sequences, and surprisingly everything stays on model. While Studio Mappa has done incredibly so far, I need to stress that maintaining this level of quality across the 23 episodes of season 2 isn't going to be easy. I hope that they're able to overcome the challenges that arise from a demanding production schedule in order to deliver to us incredible episodes like this one, which Jujutsu Kaisen fans have been waiting for. So what did all of you think about the start to season 2 so far? I have to tell you that the bar has been set really high, as the hidden inventory arc has well and truly kicked off to an amazing start. Now let me know all of your thoughts on the new opening and ending along with the episode as a whole. Were you as impressed as I was with the animation, visuals, and the pacing of the story? If you want more Jujutsu Kaisen content from me, then be sure to leave your suggestions in the comments, and lastly, thank you for making it to the end of this video, and I can't wait to see you in my next Jujutsu Kaisen episode breakdown. If you enjoy my content, then you can support my channel through Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or even through YouTube by becoming a channel member. You will gain access to exclusive channel perks and a Discord server which I frequently use. So become a member of my Zero Division and be the first to know about my upcoming videos. And once again, thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.